Pain heals. Chicks dig scars. Glory lasts forever.
Welcome back to the channel. Thank you so much for being here. Appreciate all your support. Hope you're having a fantastic day. Shout out to the 19. Smash the like button. Subscribe to the channel. Let's go. You've heard me talk multiple times probably about how good Caitlin Clark and Aliyah Boston have become together, both with the way they use their separate skill sets to work well together in the two-person game, in the pick and roll. They both have really high basketball IQs. I've talked about how running other things through this as well. You can have different actions off of the pick. It's not always about coming down, setting a specific pick, Caitlin going that way, and then Aliyah rolling to the basket. There's a lot of variety involved, and I want to go through some of those. And these are all from the Liberty game. So you can imagine if we got their whole body of work, what it's going to be like. And if they stay together and we put the players around them, I'm telling you, it will go down as the best WNBA duo in league history. And again, for those who've heard me mention it, but you're not sure who it is, look up John Stockton and Karl Malone. Go find some footage on the two of them. Absolutely unstoppable. So let's take a look at some of this. Okay, you've got Aliyah Boston. You can see Caitlin Clark there's got the ball. Aliyah Boston is kind of is going to set up a pick. And instead, right, she just splits them and goes straight to the basket. Because if you look at the spacing of the other players, and this is why it's also so important, even if you're wanting an inside game, to have shooters, to have 3-point shooters, have Mitchell out in the corner, right, to have Lexi Hull, because they can't leave them to clog the paint. So by setting this up like this in this pick and roll, you have no one in the paint. And so instead of that pick, because that's what they're waiting for, right? The defense, Leah Boston just splits the two defenders, goes right to the basket, and we've got a wide open bucket. Now we're going to start a little bit of the action here, pick in three-quarter court, picking up. And again, there are simple ways to free Caitlin Clark from this nonsense. Aliyah Boston does it. She gets herself in the way. Now she's free. Now look at what we've got. Okay. So you've got I think Sabrina Gardner here. I think, but now she's chasing. But her eye is on Caitlin Clark to get back to guarding Caitlin Clark. Right. But you have John Quell Jones is like, well, I can't let Caitlin Clark free from where she is. I've got to slow her down, or that's a disaster because someone else will have to pick her up, and then you get an easy bucket. So they both go, right? And look at that. And boom, they both go to Caitlin Clark. Aliyah Boston heads to the basket because Caitlin and Aliyah have this great relationship on the court. Boom, again, easy bucket. All right, now we got another one. Now this one starts up. We're going to have Sophie Cunningham with the ball, but we're not just sending Caitlin Clark away to set a pick somewhere else and stand in the corner. We're going to set an action for Caitlin Clark to come off of a screen and get the ball to then start the two-person game with Aliyah Boston. Boom. Okay, she gets it there, closes. Now we got Aliyah Boston's going to come out. She's going to set that pick. She's going to turn, boom, and there's a split again. Just boom, right through the two defenders. Now, by the way, all right, I want to back it up. Sorry, I should have let that finish, but what I wanted to show real quick when we see that pass. Now, look at this. Defender comes to Boston. Now, Boston takes it anyway, and this is a great finish. But look at where Lexi Hull is. Look at where Dewana Bonner is. And if Boston was aware, I don't know if she is on this one or not, and it's a tough one, she's also got Sophie Cunningham. So you've got three defenders collapsing in the paint, and you've got three shooters outside the three-point line. From that simple, Boston is going to go set a screen and then just go to the bucket. Caitlin splits the defenders, and then this is a great finish. I like that little shot there. Okay, so here we go again. Caitlin Clark, we've got the spacing. See the spacing? We got Sophie Cunningham. Why she got to be right next to Lexi Holes on the bench? I had to do a double take. I don't want to get that wrong. Kelsey Mitchell down in the corner on the left. Natasha Howard's out as well outside of the 3-point line. So now we're just going to boom. We're like, okay, well, we're just going to toss it right to the bucket, right? And here it is again. Now look at the positioning here. Very similar. We've got the other players out away from the paint, and they have to be guarded because there are threats out there. And this is where you get into why it works so well with Caitlin Clark, and you have options other than what other players have. Because if you look at this right from here, I'm thinking this is really good defense all the way around. That's a great job of fronting Boston because no one's making that pass. They're not going to be accurate enough to get it up and over and in Boston's hands without hitting the backboard or throwing it out of bounds or something. But Caitlin Clark can do it. And by the way, great catch. Sorry about that. Great finish, but you'll see a close up. So here it is. She tosses, watch Boston too, by the way, fading away from the basket. She knew she had to get it up fast, and that is a great finish. So again, up top, we've got the spacing on the court. So we're taking away the defenders from the paint. If they want to stay in the paint, 3-point shooters are gonna crush them. Okay, so now we're just gonna sorry, back them up. This pause. This buttons drive me crazy. Sets the pick, goes to the basket, and again, look at the way Boston goes. She knows where her defender is because her defender is shading to the other side. But now the player guarding Boston is coming late, and Boston just pivots and rolls away from it. And you get the pass in the split, and she's just going to go to the bucket. Of course, she should have made that. We lose out in an assist, but she does get to the foul line. Now, same thing. Caitlin Clark's going away from her. She's going to come back to that pick. And boom, doesn't even set the pick, just pivots and drops. Wide open paint. Turn, go to the basket. Here we go, and bucket. All right, now we're seeing this come from full court in the transition. So Caitlin Clark's pushing the pace a little. Watch this. Yeah, guess what? Aliyah Boston, when it's needed, and I'll let her finish because she missed that, shouldn't have missed that. It's the bucket. But again, let me see if I can back that one up a little bit because it's tough to see. But again, now we have a defense that's back, right? We have a defense that's back, or mostly back. But we're going to push it a little bit with Clark, and Boston just goes to. I mean, she's not even sprinting, folks. That's just smart basketball on her part to understand where the other players are, and that is one of the great things about pushing the pace. Is players have to just take the nearest players. It becomes a little bit of chaos for the defense, and they have to figure out who they're going to guard and do it quickly, or they're going to get punished. And I think this might be the last one. Let's take a look at this. And they just lose her, right? So, oh, it started all over. Let me go all the way back to the end there. But you've got them in the paint, and they're always looking for that pick and roll with Boston, right? They always have to be aware of that. And sometimes, I mean, it's just, okay, well, I'm just going to slip to the basket. See how they both kind of went to, oh, now it's blurry because of the pause, but I think that was Lexi, right? If that was Sophie, sorry, girls. And Caitlin's just going to fire that pass in there that a lot of other people aren't making, and we draw the foul. So you can see through this and these actions that we get a lot of things. Now, these are all showing you ones with Aliyah Boston basically being the one taking the shot, but that's why I wanted to stop and pause and explain a lot of what you're seeing because there are other things that can happen with Caitlin either not going to Aliyah Boston or Aliyah Boston then making a pass as well. And again, this is all from one game, and you saw a number of different ways that they ran this. Sometimes the screen wasn't even set. Sometimes she's dropping between the two defenders to go straight to the bucket. Sometimes they're not doing it at all, and we're going to post up and use that space, and Boston is going to take advantage of the player fronting her and on and on and on. So this offense, for the Indiana Fever to be effective, they need to run, and they need to work in the half court set. They need to work that Boston Clark connection and get all of their other options off of it. But anyway, just thought this would be a really interesting video for you to check out and kind of get an understanding of what the two of them can do together. Smash the like button, subscribe to the channel, comment on this below. Let me know your thoughts as well. Go have the day you deserve. I appreciate it, and I will talk to you later.